ACR 125 proclaims April 2014 as DMV Donate Life California Month and encourages Californians to become organ donors. Tragically, because there are not enough donors to meet the ongoing need for transplants, 1/3 of the patients on the California waiting list will not receive a life-saving transplant. We know that organ transplants save many, many lives, and a donation of tissue can save or enhance the lives of up to 50 individuals. So many of us have personal stories about why this is such a critical issue. Many of you have heard me talk about my own family. My mother, for the last 7 years of her life, was on kidney dialysis 3 days a week. She was never a good candidate for a transplant, but spending all those days with her at the dialysis center, my family met so many other patients who were also on a transplant list who were good candidates, some who received a donation that saved their lives, and unfortunately too many who went on to die never receiving the organ that they so desperately needed. Last week was also a particularly poignant week for me. Last Friday was the 9th anniversary of my father's death. He had been in a tragic car accident, and as difficult as it was to lose him, it was something that was tempered by the knowledge that he had made the decision to donate his organs and his tissue. And because of that decision, families that we never knew would be spared the painful moments that we were going through and would have years of memories left to make with their loved ones. That was an incredibly comforting thought, to know that even in saying goodbye to my father, other families were able to get a new lease on life. Now, we know that we have a lot more work to do. Donation rates are not as high as they need to be, and too many Californians will lose their race against the clock. California ranks 46th nationally in terms of organ donation registration, and that means we must redouble our efforts, especially with respect to outreach to minority communities who comprise more than half of those on waiting lists. In 2012, 40% of all those receiving transplants were minorities, and 70% of minority transplant recipients received kidneys. Only 34% of the deceased donors were minorities. Additionally, we must work to remove any barriers to those who want to donate but who cannot, especially for those in the LGBT community who were impacted by some outdated barriers to tissue donation. This resolution creates awareness and encourages everyone to become part of a growing population of donors whose thoughtful and selfless gift improve the quality of lives for so many people and can mean the difference between life and death. I respectfully ask for an aye vote on ACR 125.